So Namamrta um, implies that the holy name is the nectar that leads beyond death. And of course, we know our bodies will die, our personalities will die, our minds will die, and our karmas, although they might not finish at the end of this lifetime, eventually we're led to believe they will extinguish. So by chanting the name, we begin to identify with the only thing that survives death. It's the essence of love itself. And this is the love that has room for all things. It's a space in the heart that has room for the most horrendous agony, the most exquisite joy, right? Because this love is all things. And that the reason that the name can do that is because the name is that love. It's a form of it, right? It's a form of God, a perfect form of God, right? God, that love, it's everywhere all the time, but we can't see it. And the name is a perfect form of that love. It's like a sonic murti formed by our own lips. And it acts as a doorway, an invitation to that love beyond death. Yeah? And what would it be like to really chant the names as if that were true? I had some friends who also sing kirtan, and they were hanging out with a channeled being, a being without a body, who was channeled through someone with a body, and they were talking with this person, and the channeled being, the being without a body, and I get this is far out, but we should all be like cool with this by now, right? Because Ram Dass did a lot to just kind of help us just be okay with the fact that there's just beings without bodies. Um, anyway, the being told them, when you're singing kirtan, you should sing in a way so that you can bring the presence of God into the bodies of everyone in the room. And they told me that, and I thought about it, right? Because I was like, well, this being doesn't have a body, right? So they must know something, right? That's also a weird bias, right? It's like we either don't believe in them or we think that they must know something that we don't know. Um, but whatever, because it was a being without a body, and for some reason I thought I should just give extra weight to this, which I was actually recently visiting my parents in Yelm, Washington. If anyone's been up there, it's kind of a weird place. My parents recently moved there. There's this channeled being Ramtha who comes through this person, J.K. Knight, and they have this school of enlightenment, so to speak. And most people would say it's kind of a cult. But driving by, to get to my parents' house, I drove by the School of Enlightenment. I saw on their gates they had this giant Q with the American flag. It was like the QAnon symbol, and kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I looked it up, and of course, Ramtha, this channeled being without a body, has been telling people it's full endorsement of the QAnon conspiracies. It's just all in. Furthermore, I learned that actually, in case anyone didn't know, Donald Trump, when he flies on his jet, there's a whole fleet of like space aliens and UFOs that I guess they're invisible. I don't know, but they follow along with him and protect him. So we have a couple options here. One, we either believe it, and obviously we know on the internet a lot of people are. Two, we could assume that that maybe Ramtha is a fraud. Or three, it could lead us to believe that that just like we should be discerning about things that people with bodies say, maybe we want to be discerning about things that people without bodies say, and maybe they don't have any more wisdom, except we could probably learn from them what it's like to not have a body. And so the point is I was reflecting on this a lot, and I came to decide that I don't think that that's true. And if you want to be like the king of passive aggressive arguing, right? You can have your friends tell you something and not say anything about it, but mull over it for months, and then just uh, announce your side of the argument over a live stream. That's that's pretty good. But um, anyway, um, I don't think it's the Kirtan Wala's job to invoke anything, because God's already in the room. And if there's any job, it's just to create an inviting space, right? So that we can come to see what's already true. Yeah, and we create an inviting space through having the room be clean and, maybe physically attractive, and to be friendly, and to create this space, and to have the music be pleasant. And then, of course, the repetition of the name is enough, because the name itself is God. So the second that we say the name, God's already in our body, reverberating just through our own sound vibration. Yeah? The name Sitaram is God. Sitaram is Sitaram. The sound, when we say or hear the word Sitaram, it's no different than Sitaram. And of course, when we know that, why would we even waste a breath on the word is? Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. And when we know that, if we have the opportunity, and if we can sing it, well, then why wouldn't we sing it? I'll share one last little quote and story. When I was at the house, Shyamdas came, right? The great, glorious Shyamdas, right? The true master of Bhav. And he came in. There's a temple of peace. Is this little tiny temple on the North Shore of Hawaii, and they do this weekly kirtan every Tuesday. And so Shyamdas was just on the island, so he called them and said, "Hey, can I come? Can I sing a song?" Right? There was no fanfare, nothing. He just was on island. He was there visiting Ramdas. And so we all went. Ramdas went, and I went, and Dasi Ma went, and we all went. And Shyamdas did his chant there at the Temple of Peace. And it was the most exquisite thing, right? There wasn't that many people in the room. I don't know how many people there knew who he was or what. The second he sat down behind his harmonium, I could just feel every hair on my body stand up, because it was so clear in that moment that Shyamdas was singing to God. It didn't matter if any of us were there or not. He was singing to his beloved, and it was just this awesome moment of realizing that I was lucky enough to be there at that moment, to sing to the beloved with him. One of the things he said when he was at the house, and I happen to know that this isn't written down anywhere, because after he said it, he said, "Huh, I've never said that before. It's pretty good." So what he said was, in the living room, just offhand, just charismatically speaking as he would, he said, "When we are singing kirtan, we are singing to God. And God is kind of hard of hearing. God can only hear sincere bhav. So let's just end by singing the glorious names together. And we'll all do our own work. Yeah, of realizing that the name, it's not just a practice. It's all of it. It's all of it. The most precious gem. Can we lend our attention to it as if that was true? Can we sing with an open heart as if that was true? Can we listen with just that steadiness of receptive presence as if that was true? Sitaram, 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 Sitaram.